Dear Sai brothers and sisters, I'm extremely fortunate to be here, to be able to talk to you. I know I don't deserve it because I'm still struggling. The journey has, a lot of people tell me they are too. When Jan asked me to come and talk, and I'm like, why me? You know.
When Swami asked you.
There we go. Of course, when he says there is no answer, the answer came to me must be my age. I'm very old. I've never had a single interview, no big manifestation, and of course, I love to talk, as you all know. My mother often used to tell people, if you let my son talk, particularly about Swami, he would talk non-stop 6 hours. So, are you all ready for 6 hours? So, what I decided to do was, she had requested me to talk about my experiences and how I came to Swami. There is numerous. There's at least, I just listed and just went on and on and on. When I put this paper together, then I said, there's no way I can fill this in 20 minutes. So, what I thought was I'll just keep going, and when it is close to 4, I'll stop. I have to do it some other time. Because, I just want to share with you, because every one of you here have so many beautiful, unique experiences. It's not like I'm privileged. It's just that I've just been asked to be here to talk. And I really, every time, like Sister Tina, what beautiful experience. What beautiful experience that was. The Carmel. So, one cannot underestimate the value of telling somebody what they already know. And I want to make a disclaimer here that I am still struggling. I'm still trying to follow Swami's teachings, and sometimes it's very challenging. A lot of times, particularly, I really want to address this to all the young people here. We have a lot of pressure as Sai devotees because the universe or the people around us are constantly looking at us as, hey, you're calling yourself a Sai devotee. Are you following his words? That's a challenge I face every day, every one of my actions. If Swami was standing next to me, would I be behaving the way I'm behaving right now? I ask 24 hours a day. Believe me, a lot of times I have to put my head down. And I say, would I be doing this? So I'm still struggling, it's a work in progress. So particularly to the young people, I want to tell you something, because you guys are going to carry this world. A lot of times it comes to your mind. Yeah, Sai messages, live like you are God, so it's all fine. The tendency is to ask, Swami, what have you done to mummies lately? We tend to ask him, okay, this is okay, that's okay. You always question him, saying that, are you helping me? Are you helping me? I'm guilty of that too. But believe me, every single time I ask him in my life, are you doing this? Are you helping me? He just tells you, here it is. And I'm like, my God, the message is so unique for you. What he does in your life is particularly directed to you. For her, it wouldn't make any sense. For you, it will be like just made specially for you. And I have experienced, and I continue to experience, I experienced today. This morning I experienced. So, all I can say is, in my life, I have continued this experience, and he constantly asks me inside, what are you going to do? This issue. So, my challenge has always been, if I have two choices to act on something, if some choice is a difficult choice, just either mentally or verbally, just say Sai Ram and do it. What you think is the best response to that situation. Believe it or not, either your mind accepts it or that turns out to be the right choice. So Swami helps you to accept your action as long as you surrender that action, what you're doing, to his feet. and then say Sai Ram and do that action. Particularly the young people, you do this to test, put this to test, and you will see that this is very true, extremely true. So, come back to the story. How did I come to Swami? So, first about 16, 17 years, I really enjoyed being a critic of Swami. I was very clear that this man is a magician. I need to somehow convince people that this is foolish to follow him. And then, but every now and then, I used to argue, but not make a big deal of it. And where is Geeta ji? She is the one. We are the partner in crime. So we were here in Denver, and in India, mostly it was being critical of Swami. And then there was ardent devotees, Ramdas and Kusmaji. They had a bhajan in their house, and my wife was in India and I was here, and Geeta ji asked me, they're saying some Sai bhajan, and would you like to go with me? I said, okay, I'm just very reluctant, but I said, okay. I just went there, but we went 1 week early. And then Ramdas ji was in his front porch welcoming us, and we were like, there is some bhajan. He said, no, it is next Saturday. And he was very kind. He brought us in, gave us coffee, and chatted. And then next week, of course, both of us went there. It was a unique experience. That's how our life started. And I was still somehow wanted to disprove Swami. Then there was another couple of devotees, Nishika and Ram. They always called me and said, hey, you like music and you are singing, why don't you come and sing this? Okay, I went with my son who was constantly very active. To calm him down, I used to put him in my lap and sing whatever. But I still wanted to say I want to disprove Swami. There was a lecture in Denison Auditorium. I don't know, Geeta ji, whether you attended that. I attended that. There was one gentleman who was going around the world disproving Swami. And he came here to Denison Auditorium. Were you there in that lecture hall?
Was he the piano player?
No. This is long back, in the 80s. He came and he spent at least a couple of hours to really denounce Swami. And he showed at the end of his 2-hour lecture how Swami hides vibhuti, and he had balls of vibhuti hidden in his hand, and he went around the hall giving vibhuti. Believe me, that day I became a devotee. It had totally the opposite effect of what it was supposed to have. I was like, if somebody has to spend this much time and energy to disprove somebody, there must be some sense in it. Why would this man waste going all over the world if he is wasting his time? There is something meaningful, that's why he is wasting his time on it. So that really opened, and I kept asking Swami, who are you? Who are you? And I had in my dream, I was in Parthi, there was thousands of people and I could not see him. And then Swami came around and he said, this is who I am, and he showed me a picture. And then Swami blessing. I said, okay, it's another dream. Then I forgot about it. And then the next time when I went to India, I walk into my house and there is a picture of Swami. I didn't know that they have also become devotees, which I didn't know. And then, I was just talking about things, and my sister said, because I'm attending Sai Bhajans and everything, and she just said, oh, these are the books I have, you may like this book. She gave me the book, and that book was the picture that Swami showed me. It said Gayatri Mantra. I'm like, this was in my dream. And everything is coincidence. And then when you go to Parthi, to maintain silence, to maintain cleanliness, to a place where you can really focus on yourself, that amazed me a lot. Then journey continued, and one day I was driving, and then all of a sudden, these words would just keep going in my mind. I'm like, yeah, it's fun. It just said, Omkara Nada Priye Kamakshi Nalina Daya Sagari Meenakshi. Just like, okay, I just wrote it down because I enjoy music. It fell into very beat. everything. So I would like to sing that bhajan to you now. If you can follow, the words are there. Om Karanada Priye Samaki Karanada Priye Samaki Karanada Priye Samaki Karanada Priye So, this bhajan was on my mind, and I felt, wow, I can write this? I must be a genius. Then, this journey continued, one bhajan after another. It would just keep coming to me. And I didn't know what to do. I just kept writing them in my ugly voice. I just kept recording them. Every morning, we used to do a seva. I just read Shirdi Sai Satcharita for people, blind people. That's a different story. So I did this. Around 25 or 30 bhajans, I said, look, I'm a poet. I can write. Then I said, okay, something told me. Those days were the initial days of internet, and it's called Skynet. And then something told me, I just wrote, it was I think 70th birthday of Swami. I just said, okay, I'll just put it in a cassette and see if anybody is going, and then send it and see what happens. And through Skynet, somebody was going, and I sent it to him. And I said, okay. And birthday was over, and then suddenly I get this email back from this gentleman in capital letters. We were sitting in the darshan hall, and I had a whole bunch of stuff on the plate, and Swami came, picked up the cassette and walked away. I'm like, oh my God. That was a waking time for me, saying that I didn't do any of this. He was just training me, doing this to me, and now anytime there is a bhajan, I just surrender to him and say, thank you, Swami. And I just try to put it. Now the beauty is, the next time when I visited Bharti, I was like, wow, Swami approved. I put all that, by the time the bhajans were 60 in number, I put a huge book, beautiful picture of Swami, and all, looks very nice. I go sit in the darshan line, constantly showing the book so that, oh, Swami is going to come to me and just bless him and talk to me. Never ever he came anywhere near me. Three darshans. After second darshan, I was so frustrated. Why am I clinging to this book? I just put it away. Swami came right to me. It's like he's trying to tell me something. Like, why am I clinging to this book, thinking as if it is mine? And so on. I just have about 5 or 6 stories, but I'll go to another very interesting story. We were driving to Grand Canyon, my wife and my son, who is now 29. At that time, he was 4 or 5. I always, like, I want to tell these young people, you can always try this with Swami. He plays games with you. I said, Swami, are you really there? Then I said, okay, I'm driving in the afternoon and my wife and son are sleeping. If you're really there, why don't you convert everything into orange? Whatever I see now, let it be orange. I know, it's not going to do it. So, my thought came and I was just, it's okay. And we, you know how it is in Grand Canyon, you go one after another, and then towards the end of the day, my son, he was in diapers, so we had to change the diaper. We wanted to finish everything in Grand Canyon. We were just running to finish every scenic thing. We were getting delayed. There was a lot of mosquitoes. I was just yelling and screaming, we need to go back to the hotel. It's going to take half an hour. But we couldn't. Finally, at twilight, we went to one point. Entire Grand Canyon was orange. I just called my wife and said, do you see this orange color? I couldn't believe it. I said, this afternoon in my mind, I was thinking, can Swami turn everything in front of me to orange? I could have left early that day. I could have gone and avoided going to a place. But somehow, he will give you an answer only to you. Precisely. Now, there are many stories, but I'll tell you one quick story. I go to professional meetings, and every meeting that I go to, usually the meeting is in a big city, and then the last day of the meeting, usually it's a Thursday, and there is a banquet, there is a lot of dancing and alcohol and everything. And I generally say that day is an opportunity for me to find the local Sai Center, and I just go, and they already have bhajan, and this one was in San Diego, and I contact Sam Sandboys and said, can I come? And he said, I'm in India and I cannot be there. If you find, definitely you can come to my house. His beautiful house in La Jolla, and I was in UCSD and I didn't know how I was going to go, and I just searched every possible route. It would cost me about $50 if I take a cab, which I said I cannot afford $50. They said you can take a bus and a cab and this, and that. In the middle of the night I didn't want to get lost. So I went to, without frustration, I went to the transportation office, and then I asked them, can I, go? They said, oh, the banquet people are going somewhere here, you go with them and then take a small cab ride and a bus ride. I said, okay. And I said, then I was like, that's right, but how do I go from there to which house, which street, somehow. There was no Google or anything those days. So I said, maybe I cannot go today. I tried. Then her boss, who was somewhere in the room, came out and said, I heard you guys, what do you need? And I said, I have to go to the street. Do you have an address? He just showed the address. This guy lives 4 houses away, and he's leaving in 5 minutes. All I needed to do was hop into his car, and he left me in the doorstep. The point is, you just put your effort, he will just show you that he is there for you. What other story can I tell you? 2 bananas. 2 bananas. I always, there was a time when I always take 2 bananas to work. I used to eat one at lunch, one in the evening. And that was a time when, my son was born at home. I couldn't, I didn't have time in the morning. And I always, when I go to work, even today, when I go to work, I always pray for somebody. It can be a dog whom I saw was in pain. It can be anybody. President Reagan who was shot. It can be anybody. I'll just try to say how I can pray for this person anywhere in the universe. Then I said, I was praying for my secretary's mom who was suffering cancer, and the cancer is increasing in size. I'm like, okay, I'm praying, it's going to help. It's always, you can be a devotee, but still doubt comes to your mind. It's like, it may help, it may not help. And that day, I was worried, and then I went there. My office door is locked, closed, okay? And I opened the door. On my desk, there are 2 bananas sitting there. I forgot to bring the bananas. I'm like, how can this happen? 2 bananas. And the door is closed. Then I checked and found out that apparently they had residents meeting and they had 2 bananas left. Why they should choose my office, that to a locked office. They found the key and left it on my desk. I said, okay, there is a reason why these 2 bananas are there. Then my secretary comes in and I tell her that, there were 2 bananas here. And he said, oh, Ravi, I know that you have been praying for my mother. Today the doctor said that the cancer is decreased in size. Go figure. Why? I have many stories, but I'm going to make it quick and go to the last one. A couple of years ago, I had a heart attack, and all I needed to say was keep saying Sai Ram. The 911 people I called, they came, they took me to the hospital, they put a stent, and then my beautiful brother and sister-in-law were there throughout. And it's phenomenal. I'm going to tell you another thing. Last Tuesday, I had a surgery. I had a surgery in my nose. Full anesthesia. I went there. My wife was very worried. She stayed with me. And the anesthesiologist came and talked to me at length because I had a heart attack. Then, it was minor surgery, but still, the doctor said you will have some pain. Be careful and take some pain medication. And then just before my wife said bye to me, because they were rolling me in on last Tuesday, my wife said, before they start your anesthesia, just start meditating. And then I went in there and they had gas anesthesia and just said Sai Ram. That's all I said, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. And then I came back, they woke me up. They expected pain. Till today I have not had pain. I can assure you. I want to take pain medication. They have called me twice from the hospital. Have you stopped your pain medication? And I have said, no, I have not started my pain medication. This doesn't mean that every time I have surgery I won't have pain, but guys, that's him. He just tells you personally. Just believe in him. Now the bhajan that I sang was the very first bhajan that I had the opportunity to write in 1986 or 87. The last month, because it's 4 o'clock, I'd like to end with the bhajan that I wrote last month, and the journey continues. Before I conclude, I want to say that I really, really adore all the Sai devotees, and particularly the study circle, Hindu, and Mira, Ernie, Sai brothers. It is so useful, and Bhaiji in particular. I learned so much about myself, all my issues, when I converse with them in the study circle. And I'm grateful, and I'm so grateful to you that every year we start the year with Gitaji's house. So I'd like to sing this bhajan and then conclude. Panduranga Vitala Vitala Panduranga Vitala Vitala Swati Purita Vitala Vitala Swati Purita
Nanda